Hey there, Steve Gamache with another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Enjin SRK8 Santoku 165mm knife. So what these are made out of is they have a three-layer construction. The center hardcore cutting edge steel, which you can see here peeking out from behind the cladding, is SRK8 reactive high carbon steel. You can read more about it on the webpage. It's similar to a Shitogami number 2. It's got some additional alloying elements to it. The heat treat's about 63 Rockwell, so it's treated pretty hard, which means it's going to have pretty good edge retention as well. The construction has soft iron reactive cladding on either side of that hardcore cutting edge steel. So this knife is all reactive. There's no stainless or semi-stainless on it. They've got a protective blacksmith finish on here known as Kurauchi or KU finish. And they've also got a lacquer, food safe lacquer coating that for some additional corrosion resistance, although that lacquer will wear off as you start to use the knife, and then the steel will start to stain as it's normally going to do. So this knife does need to be cleaned, dried thoroughly, and put away when you're done. Do not leave it wet. The weight and dimensions on these are going to vary just a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 130 grams or 4.6 ounces, so nice and light. The edge length is about 6.6 inches from the tip to the back of the heel, or about 167 millimeters. The entire length with this handle is about 312 millimeters. Thickness-wise, I've got 3 different knives here from this maker. They're all similar size. There's a Santoku, a Bunka, and a Funayuki, and they're all around the 165, 170 mark. And so they're all very similar in that they've got a very thick tang coming out of the handle. So the spine thickness at the back is around 4 millimeters, but it thins out really fast, even an inch or so down. And about halfway down, I got about 2 millimeters. So don't get scared by that number for the spine thickness, because you can see that doesn't last very long. And I didn't find it affected performance on the Funayuki I was test driving. So it pretty much maintains that. There's not really much in the way of distal taper, but you can see the grind is pretty generous here where it starts to thin down towards the tip and towards the edge. And so these knives have a very nice performance characteristic of the tip. The Funayuki was excellent. This is also very thin at the tip. That's very thin, folks. The backside looks like this, so it is also thin at the edge. All 3 of these are. So the performance is going to be very good on these knives. It was excellent with the Funayuki. So they're similar, just different blade shapes depending on what kind of preference you might have. Blade height on this is about 48.5 millimeters at the back of the blade. Handles are interesting. They are octagonal ambidextrous, right there, ambidextrous oak with, or what they call burnt oak. So they've done burnt oak and then they've sanded it down here to kind of give you a progressive finish on it. So nice fit and finish, nice feel, nice look, kind of warm look to them. The handles do have some gaps where the tang goes in because of the thickness of the tang. So you want to make sure to seal that up well with something, either permanent or temporary, and keep up with it so you don't get any water down there. There's no stainless on this, so you don't want that rusting down inside the handle. Circumference on this was about 74-ish millimeters, where I normally would see a ferrule and a handle material meet, and it's about 2.9 inches, so pretty standard size. You've got pretty generous neck on these right here, so you've got a spot for your finger for your pinch grip to make that real easy to pop right in there. So it's very comfortable for pinch grip. Fit and finish, these all have pretty clean grinds. They're straight, they're nicely crafted, they're very thin at the tip and the edge, so they're all consistent on the 3 that I've got, and that's a good sign. They do a nice job of relieving and filing down the edges of the choil into the neck. So it's very comfortable, no edges there. It's nice and relieved. You've got the same thing done on the spine, so very comfortable. Out of the box edge, I'd say 5 out of 10. Part of that could be the lacquer on there. These will sharpen up very nicely, but just kind of an average out of the box edge, and you'll probably want to sharpen that when you get it, or at least touch it up on a rod or something to kind of clean that up. Some of it could be lacquer sitting there on the edge. Here's what the, now I've got to do the balance point, which I will, but in the meantime, this is what it looks like on the cutting board. So you've got kind of a nice flat towards the back, and then kind of a low belly. The Funayuki has a much higher tip on it, so it's more aggressive on there, so that does a higher rock than this does. This will get right in here. The Funayuki was like way up here. So it just kind of depends on what you want. If you want a lower, more gentle belly throughout the whole thing, a Santoku is a good choice for that, or a Bunka typically. But nice flat spot towards the back, so pretty versatile profile. This will do nice tip draws with it. Push pull cuts, glide cuts, chopping towards the back. So very versatile profile given the size of it. It's not a real long knife, so a lot going on there that's very useful. So these are very interesting blades. Performance is really good. I like the handcrafted character. Every knife's going to be really unique. There's a lot of craftsmanship with these. So this is the Enjin SRK8 Santoku 165mm knife.